What is your take on the theme for 2022, Break the Bias?
Yeah, I always like to make sure that I'm speaking the same language, so I looked back at the dictionary to see what bias actually means and thinking through what that means to me as well. So bias means an inclination or a prejudice against a person or a group of people, and by implication it's unfair. And when you think about it in the STEM world, in science, a bias is actually a systematic error. And I think that made me really think that it's beyond just fairness. It's not right, and we need to do something about it. And when I thought about this theme, I was really keen to think through some practical and tangible things we can do. And bias isn't malicious, it's not even always conscious. It's something that's innate in all of us, and we need to really reflect on that and consider what that means in our daily lives. And especially if we're hiring people, I think it's really responsible of us to consider, are we doing all we can to eliminate those biases we might not even be aware of?
Do you think enough is being done by your industry to break the bias?
It's a really good question. I mean, things have changed so much and it's so much better, but I think you can't help but see when you look at the statistics that we're not there yet. So is enough being done? I think there's a lot being done. For example, recently I attended a fantastic conference called the Women in IoT Club. I work in IoT, that stands for Internet of Things, and it was a day-long webinar celebrating the women in that field. But it wasn't just about equality, it was a technical conference. So there was some great speakers talking about some of the most important topics in that field, but it was woven through the day talking about inclusion and why maybe there aren't more women in the field. One of the speakers in particular, it just really it gave me a light bulb moment, if I'm being honest. A lady called Christine from Vodafone, and she was talking about one of the things that she does differently when they're hiring. If they get like an imbalanced application pile, they consider why is that? And it's not about trying to pre-select women, it's not about trying to make sure a woman gets the job, but really considering why, if you've got 100 applications, 90 of them are from men. And what they really have considered and thought through is there's certain types of language that can put people off applying for jobs. And also, are you getting those job adverts in front of the right people? So where are you actually trying to find these people from? So from a very simple and tangible thing that we can all do, it just made me think, gosh, I hadn't thought of it that way before. That really, if you consider that you want the widest pool of applicants as possible, I mean, it's really difficult to hire people today, as we all know, and you want the best candidates for that position. So why not try to go out as widely as possible and in as fair a way as possible.
How did you start out in your career?
Completely by accident, if I'm being very honest. I hadn't really thought through when I was younger what I really wanted to do. It just didn't seem important or relevant at the time, and maybe that's something that I regret. But it was a happy accident. I was applying to different offices for a role on a telecommunications company. Manx Telecom decided to take me on, and it was the best thing that could have happened to me in hindsight. So working for a company where technology changes so fast. I'd grown up watching Star Trek, reading Asimov. We had a VIC-20 I used to program as a young child, so I've always loved computers, and I don't know why I didn't think of that as being a career option, technology generally. But I was lucky enough to come into an environment where we were developed, we were able to go for different jobs. And so jumping from HR, I actually moved then into the fast-growing world of internet service provision, and that was where I started out my love for this industry, and I haven't looked back since.
What advice would you give your younger self?
I think that it's really important that you have people around you when you're younger that make you understand you can do a job of something that you really love, something that you're passionate about. And I think just thinking about perhaps the financial aspects, or the careers that are most prevalent around you, really you need to look inside yourself. What are you best at? What are you most passionate at? And when I think back to the exams that I took, the ones that I didn't do so well on, they were the ones that other people were maybe urging me towards rather than the things that I had passion for. And I didn't actually really think about the fact that things I had passion for could be what I ended up doing as a job. And of course, we all know now at the ages we are that it's good to go to work every day and enjoy what you're doing, but I didn't think about that as a younger person, and the fact that you can make a career out of that.
What is the benefit for businesses in being more diverse?
I mean, it's more than fairness and it's more than equality. It's been proven that businesses make better decisions when they have diverse representation. If you think about the fact that products and services need to be fit for everybody, you know, if you want more people to buy what you're offering, then it needs to suit. And if you don't have people there to represent different facets of society, then it's never going to be perfect. So the more diverse the board are, the more diverse the teams are that are making these decisions, the better the products and services you can offer. And I think, you know, it's really important to consider that the bottom line, you know, is impacted by this. You can actually make more money by having that diverse representation.
What motivates you professionally?
It sounds really cliched, but I do want to make a difference. I do want to be doing something that helps other people. I mean, and yes, there's more practical applications of that, but you know, having joined the government team, you really do feel that you're able to reach the society around you and hopefully model a better way to be or help people overcome problems. And in no matter what role I've done, you know, starting out very young as a waitress, you can always find something in the job you do that can help other people, whether that's put a smile on their face even, you know, so that really is what motivates me. I want to help make my tiny corner of the world a better place.
Will you help break the bias?